satellites showing a flashpoint brewing on the Davian border. Another in Merrick space. Looks like things are heating up out there. Flashpoints mean extended engagements are heading our way, boss. About time, too. We could use a good payday, not to mention a chance to give our new toy a spin.
So, anyone who's had a chance to talk to me on Discord or Twitch will know that I am a massive Battletech nerd. A long-term player of the game going all the way back to the tabletop, along with being a massive fan of the MechWarrior Online aside, and the Mech Commander series of games that the Battletech universe spawned. Big stompy robots has always kind of been my thing, so it's no surprise that I would find myself addicted to harebrained schemes return to the turn-based strategy formula, admittedly with a PC gaming format this time, that started the whole thing to begin with. While not an absolutely perfect game, the loading times can be unreasonably slow, even after many patches to speed them up, and it can be a little cruel and loaded with the dice from time to time. It is solid overall mechanically, and mostly faithful for its tabletop beginnings. As such, Battletech is pretty much guaranteed to make my top 10 games of 2018 at this point, and I have been eagerly awaiting an expansion, which, despite having been released in late April of this year, has not been forthcoming. While most developers these days would be hammering out DLCs, especially in a universe like Battletech that has so much to draw from, HBS has been, for the most part, rather quiet on this front, up until Gamescom, where we finally got our announcement for our first DLC, and it is an interesting one. Flashpoint is the title, and for a DLC it seems to be more focused on improving what is in the game rather than expanding on it overall. While the information on the expansion is still rather limited, the 4 key points that have been announced are, well, the Flashpoints. These are essentially mini-campaigns that the player can sign up their mercenary company to in much the same way that single-mission contracts are now. Each Flashpoint will come with its own short story that covers the events leading up to and occurring during the campaign, and they will pay out a greater reward at the end than the standard single-player or single-mission contracts. Exactly how many of these flashpoints exist, or if they're procedurally generated, is currently unknown, but this should add a nice spot of variance to the game in between the main storyline missions and following the main storyline's end. In addition to the flashpoints, there are new biomes and maps. The biomes present in the current Battletech game are a little drab overall, barren moons, deserts and the like. The new biome being added in Flashpoint is a lush tropical beach with a good sprinkle of jungle, which should make for some, at the very least, more vibrant battles. 3 new mechs are also on offer in the form of the Crab, the Cyclops, and of course the Hatchetman. The Hatchetman is a unique design due to being one of only a handful of mechs totally focused on melee combat, using an axe blade integrated into the arm in conjunction with medium lasers and SRMs to devastate and hack apart enemy mechs at point-blank range. The really interesting part is that, in spite of being a well-known design in the Battletech universe, it was one of the main mechs to show up in the television series, along with being present and in the front line of many of the important battles in the lore. This will mark the first time that a Hatchetman, or any of the dedicated melee mechs in the Battletech universe, has ever been shown in a game. On top of all of this, a new encounter type designed to return the usefulness of light and medium mechs to an endgame that is normally dominated by heavy and assault, called Target Acquisition, is also going to be added. This new mission type is a zone control styled mission, in which the player will need to take control over zone cap points across the battlefield and hold them. This will likely involve a turn limitation, and you are likely going to be racing against enemy forces in any of these missions, so having mechs that are both well armed enough to deal with the opposition that you're going to encounter while still being fast enough to beat your opposition to these points and secure them first will be incredibly important to your performance in this particular game mode. Currently we have no release date or price point for this new expansion. It is however tagged for a November of this year release. Personally, I hope the cost isn't too high. While the mechs and the game mode sound like a lot of fun, this does seem to be more of a sprucing up the existing gameplay DLC rather than one that truly expands on the game universe. It's actually a very Paradox-styled patch, which, considering that Paradox is Battletech's publisher, I shouldn't find that too surprising. So that's really all I wanted to cover with this one. As a Battletech nerd, I am rather excited for this, and of course, come November, I will be picking up this expansion and giving it a good looking over. In between now and then, if you want to check out any Battletech gameplay from me, check me out on Twitch. I do regularly stream the game, and otherwise, until next time, everyone, take care.
Aye, aye. That hit something good.